Go ahead and call our 4 o'clock work session to order. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
United States of America.
Our heads for a moment of silence, please. Rain's about to begin out there. All right, we'll open up with no changes, that I assume, in anything. First Responders Picnic, Commissioner John Irwin.
I think it would be appropriate if we could have just a simple get-together sometime. Hot dogs, hamburgers, nothing fancy or anything like it for our first responders and their families. It would require an appropriation. I would say about precious plenty would be half of what we budget for the Ag Committee, just limited to first responders and families only. And let the commissioners do the cooking. That might cut down the crowd.
I agree with having something to honor our firemen, the rescue squad, all that crowd myself, and April and I talked about it here. We did put some money in the budget. We ain't got to that portion of the fire commission yet, but we put $3,000, I believe it was.
Yeah.
But to take that one step further, years ago, the insurance companies, Nationwide and several of them, would buy plaques for whoever the Fireman of the Year award, some of that type of stuff, 2 or 3 little awards for each department. I'd like to talk to some of the insurance companies, see if they wouldn't want to participate in that and do that on this night of recognition. They're not all that expensive, and I don't know what they will, don't know what they won't, but they used to.
We don't know unless we ask.
That's right. They used to be awful glad to come out and present that, and there wasn't no meal with it back then, but they just come to each department and done their thing, and we'll certainly work on that and check on it.
Chairman, may I ask? The request for current fiscal year or proposed fiscal year?
Proposed.
So that's what your request is also?
Right.
Okay.
Would not dare to ask you to find money on this year's.
Want to be sure.
I know you did.
Everybody in sync with that? Everybody good with the first responder event?
Or how, or any idea what number of how we would kind of hold to see?
I think we use a number of people, and that would be, just talking now, just to try to come up with a figure for the budget. That would be, there's about 20 firemen in each department. Now, I don't know how far down you want to take this thing. That's the number. That's what we need to work on.
I would think
Yeah,
We'll get a few kids
don't want
involved
any
with that.
kissing cousins or anything like that, just immediate family.
So we come up with that kind of number, and 100 to 200. They won't all come. Somebody's going to have to stay back a little bit.
what's the definition would meet first response?
rescue squad, volunteer fire departments, police department, sheriff.
We make this a yearly thing, or is this a one-time deal?
I'd like to see it as a yearly thing.
If it's yearly, it's something that can be looked at for the budget committee coming up.
Yes, and EMS,
We're gonna have to
EMS.
change our numbers on, our budget. Because what we done to explain it, just to get a number, 200 people and based on what the Pines is fixing to do at the Soil and Water, it's $13 a head. It's a general, talking about that and hamburgers, whatever, but either way, do them something pretty good to recognize them and
You could bring in some Cokes and water and keep it down to around, I think we could do it for $8 a head.
bought a cotton pig and pack of hot dogs the other day.
We might get the.
Things will have
Yeah.
Meals over in Ash County.
Of course, we don't know what inflation's going to do between now and then, but
Get them money to do it. We could feed them filet mignons for about
Oh,
$6.
Now, the Pines is $11. He can do a buffet for 11. He's been charging us lately.
Coming up Thursday is 13. Right there. Just saying.
Hey,
Well, at some point, we're gonna have to have some type of numbers,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
something so we can plan and see where the money's coming from.
There's 2 meats and 3 or 4 vegetables and dessert and tea and water is what is included on the $14.
3,000 at 13's room for 230 people. So,
A lot of
I
money.
think that would be a precious plenty.
I do too. Everybody won't come. I mean, there'll be some.
We'll have food left over at that, I believe.
I've never seen Darren run short on serving it. That's the way they choose to go. We always, and if you run into overage, you know, but anyway. The idea, I'm all for it myself. I think you need recognizing and them on the back.
One Saturday, we pick a Saturday out close to the 4th of July. Not on the 4th of July, but that would be a point where we could use a black building necessary. Gives us plenty of room. Bring them in and it'll be hot. We don't have to worry about heating the black building. Just open it up. I don't mind let the commissioners serve.
it also gives the opportunity during the budget discussions with each department to also ask them, get their feel on it, get their ideas of how much or many they would have representation to as well, so you can get a more accurate number.
Chairman, would you like to, during the budget process, whenever you get to that point, fill out the first responders and then put it on the agenda at a later date to make it official?
So we could just call this the first responder picnic, you know, for all first responders. Honey. We don't have any more to add to that. We'll.
Well, the next item on your work session was to allow for discussion about the resignation of the BDC director. And I believe everyone is familiar now that that has occurred. And I have an effective date of March 11, 2022, which I believe is still correct. What has transpired since recognition of the resignation, I believe I'm going to ask Commissioner Luffman to communicate some, because I believe she has had communications with the BDC board, and I believe there's some information that she has for the Board of Commissioners as well as it relates to this side.
I am on the BDC board, and on February 17th, we did receive Dale Cavney's resignation. So at that time, the board thought that there's probably no possible way that we could fill that role at the price that, the low salary that we were paying for Dale Cavney. So at that time, we thought, we need to meet with the county manager and, try to get a direction. If the county wants to try to take this over and manage the BDC, if they wanted to, see if the Chamber of Commerce would do it, just kicking around some ideas. Well, after we met with the county manager, there was some things that transpired, which was kind of, didn't see those coming. And one of those was that Dr. Jeff Cox of the Wilkes Community College has an opportunity for us. There is something called North Carolina Tech Paths program, which they're working on an operational service agreement with them. From my understanding of it, North Carolina Tech Paths is a program where some big name and software companies are putting forth funding to create some space to be available for residents of the Wilkes Community College service area to come and learn new skills such as working on computer hardware, building computer software, anyway, things that would help their companies be successful in the future. So actually, Dr. Cox was starting to head in the direction of Wilkes County was all on board. They're ready to find a location, break ground, build a multi-million-dollar facility to house this in. But with the things that have transpired with the BDC, and of course Dr. Cox is an Alleghany native, he saw that this might be a possibility to house North Carolina Tech Paths up at the BDC. Because come, I believe, May or June, there's going to be several suites that will come available that could house that program. So, with those things in mind, the operational service agreement with the county and the BDC is in place through October of 2023. So it was the board's recommendation to bring this forward that we wanted to leave things as a no change, an as-is basis. And then Brian Edwards would take over from Dale at that point and collect the rents and do the day-to-day management until we could get someone in place to help work on this NC Tech Paths program. And there's still a whole lot of things up in the air. They don't know if Wilkes Community College would take a lead role in this, if they would expect the BDC board to do that. It's all so new, but we look at it as being a very big opportunity for Alleghany County to be able to spearhead this thing, and it could be a big windfall for our county too, as far as monies and building. And I mean, we would basically be the holder of this grant. So that is currently what direction that we're looking at now. But of course, with the BDC having these changes, we've kept Michael apprised of it and wanted to bring it to the board and get your input on it. If this is something that we think that we want to support, or if it's something that we don't want to support. But there is some information out on the internet about the NC Tech Paths program. So it could be like a really awesome opportunity for us, and it could be really, it could really meet what the service agreement says for the BDC as far as an incubating and growing business type opportunity. So, learning opportunity for all people of this. It would be great if some people could. I'm really excited about it because one of the things that I've always preached, and this was one of the reasons I ran for county commissioner, is we have to do some things to keep our local youth here. We have to provide them opportunities so they don't have to move off to Charlotte and Raleigh to get jobs. And this could be the thing that helps with that. A lot of the jobs that they are teaching to and have this program that they're building around, they start at $70,000 and up a year. And it could be an opportunity where, these students can work right here in Alleghany County because of the remote learning environment. And they can work for companies in San Francisco and New York and different places, but be right here contributing to our community. So I wanted to, Brian was not able to be here. He's out of town right now, but he asked me to pass along this information, and I hope I got everything right. I've been to the meetings, but there's been a lot of stuff presented at those meetings. But I guess that I need to just kind of get a feel from everyone as what their thoughts are about that. And Michael, what's your
Last.
We'll just open the floor for discussion here, and everybody can express their opinion and thoughts, and go from there.
Well, the BDC is under contract with the county for economic development, running that facility. They can enter into a contract. They don't need our permission with this right now because we've basically signed over the running of that building. So I would support it. I don't see anything wrong with it. It fulfills their contract. They are already taking care of the building. Dale's gone. That's not our problem. They've got to find someone to manage it over there. It looks like they've done it. So I don't see any problems with it and would welcome it wholeheartedly. If we could bring in an opportunity to bring jobs into this county, I'm all for it. And that's a logical place because we're sitting over there with RidgeLink with that fiber optic connection. They can go right in. It'd be a simple connection to set up a computer network in there if we've got the climate control problem taken care of.
Shell, is this through NC Works?
No, this is through NC Tech Paths, and it's through the college, the community college system.
Was this not talked about maybe a year ago? Seemed like back. Maybe trying to get that.
Well, it's very similar, but from what I understand, that was actually a different group that were going to try to do this. Well, then a larger group from the state kind of got together and on the same idea, and it came in a little differently, but it's essentially kind of the same thing. It's really just trying to get folks educated,
Write that down. It's through.
an opportunity for folks to be brought up to speed with a lot more
Please.
technical jobs that are out there or that could be out there. Focused training currently really have here in the area. Community college offers a lot of things, but I mean, this is technical training, I understand. I agree with John. I think it's, with things in place, Dr. Cox certainly, I think it's a good thing and a good partnership with Wilkes Community College and a great location. I mean, I don't think you could the location, and if it's stays in, as it is and things work out, then great. If it don't, down the road, if we need to revisit another idea.
I agree. I think it's any time you can improve, and right there's a good combination situation to put that to work. And if COVID proved one thing, you can work from home and still get the job done pretty good, and support it. Anything to add? You got anything?
Sounds good, though. I was just trying to find out some more about it.
They got any prospects for a new director to replace
Yes.
Dale?
Yes, actually, they do.
He's
Money's not the issue. It's they have a resume of an individual who's just a retirement person that has all kinds of background.
time guy.
Yes, exactly. I think that this person was more challenge and welfare of the community more than they needed. Great fit.
Manager will start, Bob.
Well, I don't think that's entirely accurate. What I would say is, much like Commissioner Bobby Irwin, I need to read up a little bit on the NC Tech Path portion, because that's new information. The one thing that I will point out is we're all aware that the current agreement expires, I believe, as it was mentioned, in October of '23. So it provides just enough window to become acquainted, to see how it is, to see if it works. And then if it does, okay, add that in on the next, discussion about the next agreement. Or if it doesn't, then it provides the county a way to look at it from a different point of view. So I don't see a negative to it at this point. So.
Anybody else have anything else? Mrs. Todd?
The only thing that I would put out there, I sent an email out. David Higgins called me this morning. This is for just general information. For fuel, for that training session Saturday, one volunteer fire department, $450. It's just for Glade Creek, for that training aspect. So the fuel costs are going to kill us. I mean, I don't know. You on the budget committee are going to have to scratch your heads, because I don't foresee getting any better anytime soon.
I didn't know there's all out Sunday on the search.
$150 for that search.
Sunday.
One truck.
Thank goodness they did find that guy.
And it's really, I look at the things that we utilize for fuel. Sheriff's Department, EMS, Rescue Squad. We get down, whatever the budget committee gets to that discretionary fund, looking at what we're looking at right now, it's not going to be pretty.
If I may, since we're getting ready to conclude this work session and possibly think about the next, what I would ask is for your April meeting, at least one of those items, we go back and we look at ARPA funds once again to see, now that we're knee-deep in the budget, what the requests are, what possible overlaps could be addressed with some of the ARPA funding to move some of the thoughts about the proposed budget. I just think that's a good in-line sequence to do.
Need a motion, Mr. Chairman, on that? Right?
We need to do that. Who knows what's gonna happen, but they all talking like it could be $6. And you're just past 4 out here at one place now. 5 for diesel. I remember diesel fuel back in the other crisis we had, we was in the store business. If I ain't deadly fool, diesel topped out at $4.49, and gas was just a penny or 2 or 3. We've done
is bad.
The problem, other problem that we've got, Ridge Electric gets nuke, and a lot of coal fire and paying gas. And I was told that LPG is now $4 a gallon.
off-road diesel fuel, like it's over to transfer, like $4.40.
The window's open.
You know what I keep thinking? We ain't got no bombs dropping over here
Yet.
yet, and hopefully never for a long time, but that's, you really hate them people over there. Anything else? No, we got time to go eat some dinner. Your motion to,
So moved.
motion to eat, so moved, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.